hasn't been all that busy, Lyndon Chinkela, but when he does get into the ring, he certainly knows his way around it. The bell sounds for the start of round number 2 then, the black and leopard trunks of Lyndon Chinkela. The very watchful, welcome Maloombo, fighting
Step back.
with the trunks that are reminiscent of the French national flag.
And they say in boxing, Kevin, that the classical answer to a southpaw is a straight right, but equally for a southpaw, a classical punch really is a straight left. Now Reverend Simon Makari is not taking any nonsense from these two boxers. He's warning them and saying, I will take a point from you if you continue doing this.
There's been a few warnings already inside this fight from referee Simon Makari, particularly for welcome Maloombo. Have to obey the rules at all time, keep your gloves up and break when I say break, and Simon Makari is a very experienced one. Now there's just a little word in the ear of the fighter from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Left-right combination inside the corner of Chinkela from the Gauteng-based fighter. A nice comeback from welcome Maloombo. Seems to take the punches rather nicely and stings him into action.
And he pinned Lyndon Chinkela there against the ropes. And let's see what Chinkela will do there.
Short right hook from Chinkela. Goes to the body with a right hook as well. Left hook. It gets just under the guard of Maloombo. It was a good punch. But he handles it rather nicely. Maloombo's got a strong jaw by the look of things.
Yes, he has. But unfortunately, he's not using his reach. He's got a reach, he's not using it. He's coming down to the height of Lyndon and Chinkela. And that's not helping him at all.
It's caught to the short left. To the face from Chinkela. Does Maloombo. Now he works the body. That's the fighter from Gauteng. 1 minute remaining in round number 2 of a scheduled 6 in the junior middleweight division. Second bout of the evening. We've already had a fight in the light heavyweight division. More fights coming up in the junior middleweight, light heavyweight, and the international lightweight fights. Uppercut from Maloombo. Didn't throw it with too much purpose. I reckon if he'd released that that punch, and Chinkela might have felt it. But he's just not releasing his punches.
Not letting his punches go as the crowd really screams Linda in the background, spurring this man into action. They want their man to win by knockout. He's already won the first 3 fights of his by knockout. Let's see if he's going to make 4 in a row, 4 knockouts.
Certainly the first round was an even one on our unofficial scorecard, but the way things are developed here in round number 2, it's in Chinkela. He goes headhunting once again as we look to close out the second round. Really, he's got quite an indicated left hand as Lyndon Chinkela for a man in his 3rd fight. The bell gives the signal for the end of round number 2. And on my unofficial scorecard, Peter, I certainly give that one to Lyndon Chinkela.
Definitely. Lyndon Chinkela takes that round unofficially, of course, on our scorecard. Takes that round at 10 and 9. So he is 1 point ahead.
Always lovely boxing action when we arrive at the Kagiso Memorial and Recreation Centre in Kagiso. Some of the action from round number 2, Peter.
Yes, some round. And you can see Maloombo there coming up with straight rights and pinning his opponent against the ropes. But Lyndon Chinkela did very, very well there to hold.
That was just after Chinkela had him in his own corner and clipped him with a right to the head, and suddenly Maloombo came alive, stung into action and drove Chinkela back across the ring. But clearly a round on our unofficial card that went the way of Lyndon Chinkela. The fans up on their feet in anticipation of something more from Lyndon Chinkela as the bell sounds for the start of round number 3 of a scheduled 6. By the end of this round, we'll be at the halfway mark of this junior middleweight fight here at the Kagiso Memorial and Recreation Centre. Swinging and a miss with the right hand from Maloombo.
He's swinging a lot with that right hand, and most of the time he's missing. As Lyndon Chinkela goes right underneath that left jab and a straight right.
I reckon if he uses the straight right instead of the looping right, it would be a little bit more effective against the Lyndon Chinkela southpaw stance, because he is a come forward fighter, is Chinkela, and the shorter man can be caught coming forward. Hasn't been caught so far.
He hasn't been caught because he's been able to really avoid those punches from the man from the DRC.
Backing away all the time is Maloombo, gets caught with an overhead right, but there didn't seem to be much power, and it was a chopping punch almost to the neck of Welcome Maloombo, and then a great punch from Chinkela off the break. Beautiful right hand.
It was a beautiful right hand, and Maloombo really doesn't seem to be knowing he's staggering. The referee tells him to move forward. He's studying him, and he calls off the fight.
Well, he calls it off. That's Simon McCarty.
This win, and they are very, very happy that their man has won. As we look at the man who has been beaten, Welcome Maloombo from the DRC. Knockout in the third round for the man in your picture right now, Linda Chinkela.
Chinkela, a popular man in this part of the world, and no wonder he's got a big proud smile on his face. But it looks as if Welcome Maloombo is okay. He smiles to his cornerman as well, as if to signal, well, yeah, I'm going to survive that one. But I tell you what, coming off the break, it was a devastating punch from Linda Chinkela, and he'll be very happy with his nice performance. Have a look at this again. There the boxers break. There's the left hand, in fact, straight down the middle, and Welcome Maloombo has to pick himself up from the canvas.
He did beat the count, but he was already out on his feet, and the referee, Simon McCarty, was not going to take any chances, and he called off the fight.
Have a look at it one more time. Straight off the break, a dummy right hand, the big left down the middle. That's the strong punch from a southpaw fighter, and there was no answer from the man from the Democratic Republic of Congo. One can understand that Tito Dipeko is a happy man with a big smile on his face, and his boxer will be delighted as well as he improves his record to 4-0 with 4 by way of knockouts.
4 fights, 4 wins, 4 KOs.
The boxers will pose for the obligatory photographs after a fight of that nature, and we'll go across to Sipho Mosheko in just a little while's time to get the official time of the stoppage by referee Simon McCarty. But a good display from Lyndon Chinkela, and well, you know, the referees tell the boxers, protect yourself at all time, and Welcome Maloombo didn't have any answer to that big booming left hand from Chinkela during round 3 of that scheduled 6-rounder. The gloves come off from Welcome Maloombo. There's no doubt that the man from the DRC will be back, but yeah, 2 losses in 2017 and a loss now by way of technical knockout isn't the way he's going to enhance himself. But let's go to Sipho Mosheko for the time of the stoppage.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an exciting contest. This one in the junior middleweight division, and it was scheduled for 6 rounds. Referee Simon McCarty stops this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 1 minute 27 seconds into the 3rd round. For your winner via KO, now remains unbeaten in 4 professional fights, Linda Chinkela.
Win for Chinkela, TKO in the 3rd round of a scheduled 6-round fight against Welcome Maloombo.
Yeah, it is a good fight indeed. The first round might have been a draw. The second round certainly in favour of Lyndon Chinkela, but nothing wrong with the devastating left hand that came from the local fighter in round number 3. And Lyndon Chinkela is standing alongside Sipho Mosheko. Let's hear what he has to say.
4 fights, 4 wins, 4 knockouts.
Yeah, that's correct. I'd like to thank my coach, my manager, Coach Dida, and everyone that came here to support us. Thank you.
And what do you have to say to these fans that are so supportive of you this evening?
The fans are really amazing. They're the ones that push us. They make us feel strong and to keep on entertaining them. We appreciate the support that they show us, and we also would like to entertain them more.
Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, our winner, Linda Chinkela.
Certainly a good fight it was for Lyndon Chinkela. So a win for Karabo Makupi in the light heavyweight division A win for Lyndon Chinkela in the junior middleweight division. And next up, 2 boxers on debut. Simon Cutler versus Wayne Loitering. Loitering younger. He's got a slightly shorter reach and he's a slightly shorter boxer as well. Both boxers around about the same weight though. But Simon Cutler against Wayne Loitering. One boxer from Gauteng, the other comes from the Limpopo province, and that should be an interesting one in the junior middleweight division. Oh, Peter had some action with a fan earlier on with an interview. Let's have a look at what they had to say.
Randy Mbambo, it is very nice to see you here in boxing. Who are you here to support?
I'm here to support Team Dida.
Team Dida. And do you think that it is going to be a good boxing match?
Yes, it is, because as we've seen now, the man that went off stage, it's Team Dida, and he won.
Thank you very much, and thanks for coming to support Team Dida.
Thank you so much. And yes, we are Team Dida. Thank you.
Team Dida indeed, because it is Dida de Peko and Dida Boxing Promotions alongside of Vision View Productions who bring you this action at the Kagiso Recreation and Memorial Centre. It is the sweet science for Ghetto greatness. Simon Cutler against Wayne Loitering next. Let's have Sipho Mashiko to bring us the boxers, I beg your pardon, into the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout in the junior middleweight division. This one scheduled for 4 rounds. And remember, you can catch us live on a streaming Twitter at VV Sports Radio, Facebook Vision View Productions, and YouTube Vision View. This bout, junior middleweight, 4 rounds. Let's welcome first to the ring the first of our 2 boxers who will answer the bell from the blue corner, Wayne Lionheart Loitering.
Wayne Lionheart Loitering started boxing just 2 years ago, and while he was just 17 years old, and his dad knew nothing about it because his dad didn't want him to get into boxing, so he decided, well, he's going to go and get some amateur boxing of his own accord, and turned out to be the best boxer in his amateur club. And then when he'd accumulated a whole bunch of trophies, he took his dad to his cupboard and said, well, look, Dad, look what I've achieved. His dad wasn't all that happy, but he managed to convince his dad that this is the right way to go. And now he's making his professional debut here in Kagiso at the Kagiso Recreation and Memorial Centre on the Sweet Science for Ghetto Greatness bill. So we wish both him and Simon Cutler the best of action here as they make their professional debuts in the junior middleweight division.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome his opponent as he walks to the ring, Simon Ghetto Boy Tata.
Simon Cutler from the Gauteng province, also on his professional debut, and yeah, it's never easy getting between the ring, bigger part between the ropes, and there's no better person to know how that felt. The 2-division super middleweight champion of the world who joins me in commentary, William Khare. And William, it does take a brave man to get between the ropes, doesn't it?
Get into the ring. You know, I can see that what Loitering he was a very good amateur boxer. I think we're going to have a very good fight.
There's already been some success for his coach, Peter Uber, also, who had a knockout win over Johannes Lesiba in the opening bout of the evening in the light heavyweight division.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is in the junior middleweight division and it's scheduled for 4 rounds. Introducing first your ringside judges for the contest, Pumeza Zinagila, Cyprian Dava, and Ben Ngapai. And the third lady in the ring, female referee, Namta Tuluba. And now introducing the boxers. This boxer will answer the bell from the blue corner. He wears black silver trunks. He weighed in at 69.55 kilograms. This his first fight as a professional. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Montimole, Limpopo, here is Wayne Lionheart Loitering. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we introduce his opponent, who answers the bell from the red corner. This boxer wears Rasta trunks. He weighed in at 69.35 kilograms. This, his first fight as a professional, fighting out of Hillbrow Gym, Gauteng. Here is Simon Ghetto Boy Cutler.
Aspirant young lady fighters as the two boxers are called together by the third lady in the ring.
Boxers, I expect a good clean fight. Protect yourselves at all times. Shake hands. God bless you.
God bless you from Namkla Tiluba, who is the lady referee for this third part of the evening. It's in the junior middleweight division, scheduled 4 rounds in the 69.850 category. And the bell will sound for the start of round number 1. Both fighters fighting out of the orthodox stance, and already a nice jab is thrown there by Simon Cutler, but Wayne Loitering doesn't seem to be hanging about. He's going for glory straight away. Gets caught with a strong right hand from Simon Cutler. Both of these fighters look unprofessional debut, as if they're going for action. Short punches on the inside from Simon Cutler. Wayne Loitering coming out almost like we saw from Frank Rodriguez when he made his debut. Frank Rodriguez, who's fighting a bit later on in the light heavyweight division, used to come out and swing and punch like this.
You know, if I was Banda, I would use my jab, because you can see that Loitering, he's just throwing the punches. He doesn't check which punches must he throw. He's just throwing. I think Banda should use more of his jab.
1 minute has elapsed in the first round of a scheduled 4 rounds. He's hitting and holding at the moment is Wayne Loitering, which I suppose isn't a bad tactic against a taller fighter, but you have to be careful to break when the referee says break, and he's already been warned twice. He really is being caught to the left-hand side. He doesn't have too much defense on the left-hand side, and he's been caught with a right from Simon Cutler early on here. Cutler is the taller fighter, and Wayne Loitering seems to come in to try and attack his opponent, to drive him onto the back foot. But yeah, he's not quite as contained. He may be rushing his punches a little bit and not carrying his hands high enough. And he's been caught by his taller opponent.
Stop!
I think Loitering is only concerned about collecting more points, that's all.
And if he slows it down a little bit, he might be able to get on the end of a jab, which we haven't seen too much of. Light left combination coming in. It's always a good punch to throw when you have an opponent coming in from Simon Cutler. Nice left uppercut from the man in the Rasta trunks, and now he gets driven back with the left-right combination from Loitering. It's one of those sort of fights that you can expect from two fighters making their professional debuts. It's a little bit loose in there, isn't it?
Yes, Kevin. You know, if it's your first fight, you can expect such a fight, you know, from Loitering. It's his first fight, and Dada, you know, both of them, it's their debut. Nothing is surprising really about this, you know. You can expect this.
Loitering catches Cutler with a long looping right hand, but he gets tagged with a straight right hand from Simon Cutler, who certainly at this stage seems to be at the better of round number 1 of a scheduled 4-rounder in the junior middleweight division. Yeah, it's tough getting between the ropes as a professional. He's had 2 years as an amateur boxer, Wayne Loitering, in the Limpopo province. Nice to see his family here in support of Wayne Loitering. He's got to be careful of his body movement. He just seems to be losing his balance just too often as he comes in swinging wildly at Simon Cutler as we come to the end of round number 1.
Just jab, we are not using your jab at all. Just try to use your jab. Right. Jab,
George Corsi is the trainer of Simon Cutler, with Bongani as the assistant in the corner of the Gauteng fighter on debut. We are keeping an unofficial scorecard, and for me, the first round went the way of Simon Dladla. Wayne Loitering does seem to have a smile on his face as we have a look at Peter Roberolser. Bell about to sound for the start of round number 2 of a scheduled 4 rounds in the junior middleweight division. Simon Dladla off his stool before the referee gave him permission to do that, and it just shows the eagerness of these two fighters on their professional debuts. And again, Wayne Loitering getting caught coming forward.
Dladla got very good instructions from his corner. They told him to use his jab because they can see that a jab in this fight will definitely work for Dladla, and he's doing that. He caught Loitering with a very good right uppercut.
Slip from Wayne Loitering on that occasion. Yeah, it's very interesting to listen to the corners and hear what the instructions are from the respective corners, and whether the boxers listen to them or not. Because it's one thing getting the instructions, it's quite another for the boxers to actually listen to those instructions. Now, for me, what's important about the fight as well is what the conditioning is. It just comes forward metronomically. Simon Dladla, left-right combinations, and finding the mark with 4 punches on the face of Wayne Loitering. He really has got a nice reach, and he's been nicely trained here, Simon Dladla. He looks like a good fighter.
I love that right uppercut from Dladla. You can see he hit that right uppercut after the jab, which is good.
Feet of Wayne Loitering sometimes a little bit too close together as he goes for a swing and a miss, and Simon Dladla cops him with the right hand to the head. Swing and a miss again from Loitering. He goes for the right uppercut again, does Dladla on 2 occasions, misses on both times. But that's a good punch that's worked for him so far, as we are now halfway through round number 2 of a scheduled 4-rounder. Action seems to have slowed down a little, and there's no doubt that it will slow down even more, and we do anticipate that the boxers will come out and be very hot at the start of the rounds and maybe slow down towards the end of rounds, as Loitering once again gets caught with that looping right hand. Eludes the uppercut, but not by much.
Dladla needs to follow up with a left hook after that right uppercut, because he's been catching Loitering with a right uppercut, but he doesn't follow up. He needs to follow up with a left hook. We might see a knockout.
Looks as if he has every intention. Well, there's the one that's down, and it'll be an 8 count for Wayne Loitering, as he got pounded to the body. There were about 4 right-hand body punches to his left-hand side in a row, and he's not able to continue. Those body punches taking the toll, and Wayne Loitering will suffer a technical knockout. But it's a great victory for Simon Cutler. He certainly looked the better fighter in the time that we saw them in the ring.
It is the body punch that made him think twice of coming back.
Body punch is so effective, but all the way through the fight, Simon Cutler did seem to have the upper hand. So unfortunate for Wayne Loitering to suffer defeat by way of technical knockout on his pro debut. But Simon Cutler showed some wonderful expertise, and the doctor just checking to see if there's not any broken ribs in there. But those body punches were absolutely unbelievable from Simon Cutler. He was finding the mark with the right uppercut, and it was the rights to the body that eventually stopped the contest. It's tough in there on their professional debut, and I don't think it gets any easier. I mean, if you have a look to see, we'll have Malcolm Classen in the ring in an international lightweight over 10 rounds in fight 6 of the evening. There's some of the punches, and there to the body, 1, 2, 3, head hunting, and then to the body, 1, 2, 3, 4. Loitering goes down, and he never got up from that situation.
Very good punches from Banda. You can see he was definitely digging to the body.
Well, there's the right hook to the head, and then the punishment to the body started. There we go, 1, 2, 3, and down he went. Simon Cutler picks up his first victory as a pro, as Wayne Loitering will go back to the drawing board and see if he can take any lessons out of his first pro fight here in Kagiso. We'll have the two boxers along with our lady in the ring, Namkla Chuluba, and Stipe Mosheko will give us the time of the stoppage, but certainly in round number 2, a good fight and certainly a good result for Simon Dladla. So the two boxers are alongside of Namkla Chuluba, and Sipho Masheka will give us the time of the stoppage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this exciting contest was a junior middleweight contest, and it was scheduled for 4 rounds. And female referee Namkla Chuluba put a halt to the proceedings. The official time of the stoppage, 2 minutes, 30 seconds into round number 2. For your winner via TKO, fighting out of Hillbrow Gym, Simon Ghetto Boy Tata.
Yeah, very good result for Simon Cutler, winning by way of technical knockout. 2 minutes 30 into round number 2 of a scheduled 4 rounds. And he came out, he showed some good skill, good straight left and a lovely educated uppercut for a man making his professional debut. And well done to the Simon Cutler corner. I'm sure we'll see more of the Rasta man over the years to come. Well, 3 fights down, 3 fights to come, and next up we'll have the first of the Rodriguez brothers. It's Fernando Rodriguez against Walter Limini. And Fernando Rodriguez is a good fighter. He's had 7 fights, 6 wins and 1 draw. But Walter Limini is an experienced campaigner, 38 years old. He's had 24 professional fights, 14 wins and 6 losses, 4 draws. And we wait to see what experience he brings into the ring for this professional fight. Sipho Masheka will bring the fighters into the ring.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next bout. This one, a middleweight contest scheduled for 6 rounds. Let's welcome first to the ring, fighting out of Hunter's Gym, all the way from Soweto. Here is Walter, the Black Mamba, Limini.
They call Walter Limini the Black Mamba, and he's coached by the Hunter Gym. I did see Lionel Hunter a little bit earlier on at the Kagiso Memorial and Recreation Centre. Had a chat to him as well. But he's got a lengthy record. It might not be as an impressive record with only 14 wins out of 24 fights with 6 losses and 4 draws. And in fact, he comes off 2 losses in a row. He lost against Azizian Ponda in Turpentine by way of technical knockout in the first round. And then he fought here 4 months ago against Augustine Matata and lost by way of technical knockout in the 6th round of scheduled 6. So 2 losses in a row, both by way of knockout. But yeah, Walter Limini will come into the ring and see if he can take the fight to Fernando Rodriguez, who's an up-and-coming fighter in this part of the world.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome his opponent to the ring, fighting out of Team Tita. Here is Fernando Pitbull Rodriguez.
Fernando Rodriguez is a popular figure here in Kagiso. 7 fights, 6 wins, 1 draw, and that draw came on the 2nd of July 2017 against Ahmed Kalongi at the Apache Pub in L Road. Other than that, started his career with 3 victories by way of points decisions, but his last 3 victories have all come by way of technical knockouts against Daddy Mpinga, against Bainant Mulder, and against Ayanda Mtembu, and all of those victories here at the Memorial Centre in Kagiso. The latest of those on the 7th of April 2018, when Fernando Rodriguez stopped Ayanda Mtembu in the 5th of the scheduled 8-rounder. Popular figure, as I say, known as the Pitbull. And in my opinion, what I've seen of Fernando Rodriguez and Frank Rodriguez, he's the much more classical style boxer, is Fernando Rodriguez. Another fighter that fights out of Team Dida, gets a little bit of encouragement from Toto Bonakwani. That's one of the local favourites. Fernando Rodriguez will make his way into the ring in Kagiso.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing our ringside judges for this massive contest. Namhla Tuluba, Tony Nyangiwe, and Ben Ngapai. And the third man in the ring, Simon Mukadi. Let's now introduce the boxers. He will answer the bell from the blue corner. This boxer wears black, white, gold trunks. His official weight coming into this contest, 72.35 kilograms. His record as a boxer, 24 contested fights with 14 wins, 6 knockouts, 6 losses, and 4 draws. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting, fighting out of Hunter's Gym from Soweto, Gauteng, here is Walter the Black Mamba Limini. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we introduce his opponent. This boxer will answer the bell from the red corner. He wears black and white trunks. His official weight coming to this contest, 72.40 kilograms. And his record as a boxer, unbeaten in 7 contested fights with 6 wins, 3 of those coming via knockouts and 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of Team Dida, here is Fernando Pitbull Rodriguez.
Fernando Rodriguez and Walter Limini being summoned into the middle of the ring by the third man in the ring, Simon Mokadi, for their final instructions before we get underway for this middleweight contest.
Boxers, I gave you rules, okay? Let the best man win. Shake hands and good luck. God bless you.
Lovely to hear the referees all wishing the boxers well. God bless you before every fight gets underway. Fernando Rodriguez waiting for his shirt to be taken up before we get underway for potential 6 rounds in the middleweight division. This is a division that you fought in, William Khade, before moving to super middleweight, where you won your 2 world titles, or world titles in 2 weight divisions or 2 different organizations. Should be an interesting one. The black trunks with white trim from Fernando Rodriguez, and Walter Limini in the white, black and gold.
Yes, Kevin, I was once a king in this weight. I can see that Walter Limini last two fights, he lost them with stoppages. What Frank needs to do in this fight, he needs to remind Walter Limini again, by putting more pressure and throwing more punches. He might stop Walter Limini again.
3 technical knockouts in a row for Fernando Rodriguez. There's been 2 losses by way of technical knockout in a row for Walter Limini. But if you have a look at the amount of work that they've done in the ring, 124 rounds before this fight got underway for Walter Limini, only 31 rounds of boxing. And one says only 31 rounds, but 31 rounds times 3 minutes is an hour and a half of boxing. But 124 rounds times 3 minutes is a hell of a lot more. Both boxers fighting out of the orthodox stance. The Pitbull just on the back foot for a moment. He's got a lot of support in this part of the world. The Rodriguez brothers doing some good work out in Kagiso. Looks as if he wants to send in that right hand to the body of Walter Limini. Seems to be a tactic of his. He's the slightly shorter fighter. And Walter Limini will do well just to get that jab going. You see him just stuffing that jab into the face of the local fighter, Rodriguez. What he's doing with Rodriguez, he has to come forward because he's a shorter fighter. He's just using his ring talent and technique to wrap him up.
Yes, Kevin, he needs to go forward. And while doing that, he needs to throw body punches. Because I can see that Limini can't take body punches. He doesn't like body punches.
Certainly didn't look as if he liked body punches when I saw him in action here against Augustine Batata. Maybe that is what was recognized by his coach, Didi Tupeko. As the fight took place right here, just 4 months ago, on the 7th of April. And just going forward at the moment is Fernando Rodriguez. Potentially a feeling out round, but there's nowhere to hide when you're in a 6-rounder. You've got to get on with the business almost immediately.
Yes, there's nowhere to hide.
It's got some good hit movements. Has Walter Limini. Coming out of the Hunter gym, but both of these boxers keen for the action, and Walter Limini called for using his elbow with 15 seconds remaining in round number 1 of a scheduled 6-rounder.
10 seconds.
This is the 4th fight of the evening on the bout card that carries 6 fights, and already we've had the opening 3 fights that have ended by way of a knockout or technical knockout before the 3rd rounds have ended. So it's been an entertaining evening so far, and an entertaining opening round between Rodriguez and Limini. Really seem to be too much to differ between the 2 sides. So on my unofficial scorecard, I've given that as an even round between Fernando Rodriguez and Walter Limini, who's coached by Tito DiPecco, and that is the corner of Fernando Rodriguez.
He needs to work more. There's nothing special with him.
Into the corner of Lionel Hunter. See his wife Shireen, who's a promoter in her own right and assisting boxing promoters all over the Gauteng area and even beyond that in hosting boxing events, and doing a great job at it as well. So the instructions from both corners as the boxers greet each other in the center of the ring for the start
When I say stop,
of round number 2 of a scheduled 6.
When I say break, you break. You don't need. Okay, you don't punch. Okay, all right, go back to your corners.
So instructions there from Simon McCarty. We saw him in a previous part, very clear as to his instructions to the fighters. Limini in the black and gold, Rodriguez in the black and white, and immediately it's the pitbull who is just coming towards his opponent once again. He's been on the front foot for most of the fight so far, has Rodriguez.
But Fernando must start using his jab now, because the last round he never used his jab. The first round he never used his jab. I think in this round he must start using his jab.
Cheeky short left hook to the face of Walter Limini by Fernando Rodriguez. Much easier when you have 2 orthodox fighters or 2 southpaw fighters fighting against each other, because they don't have to avoid the feet on the outside as we so often see, but it doesn't mean to say that the boxers don't step on each other's toes occasionally.
Break.
Rodriguez still getting caught coming forward. Getting warned for using his elbow on that occasion. Rodriguez, neither fighter seems to have been tagged, although saying that, Limini does tag Rodriguez to the face, goes for the straight left on that occasion, uppercut and a right hook from Limini, who's certainly finding his range.
I see that Fernando is not prepared to use his jab. He can rather go to the body and start hitting body punches, because you can see he wants to knock Walter Limini. He must start hitting the body.
Well, it's much more of the style that we see normally from Frank Rodriguez in the light heavyweight division, who started his career as a cruiserweight. We'll see him in action in a few moments' time against Alex Kabongo. 1 minute away from the end of round number 2 of a scheduled 6-rounder, and this is a better round for Walter Limini. And as you said, Fernando Rodriguez not using the jab, but he's also getting caught coming forward. And you can see the ring craft here of Walter Limini, who's by far the more experienced of the 2 fighters. And the 6-rounder might actually benefit Walter Limini more in this one. Fernando Rodriguez unbeaten. Judging from what we've seen in these last 3 fights, he does like to stop it via the short route. 2 boxes broken in the center of the ring by Simon Mokardi. We coming very close to the end of round number 2, in a round where Walter Limini certainly looked as if he was the better of the 2 fighters. It's quite interesting on the break. Immediately that the call break, Fernando Rodriguez lifts his arms up, almost in the old surrender sort of signal that we saw during some war movies. And that's a bit of a danger, because when he lifts his arms like that, Walter Limini could sneak in a couple of punches to the body. And yeah, that's a bit dangerous for Fernando Rodriguez, who might start to get some different instructions in his corner.
I can tell you it's really bad for Fernando, because I can see that Limini now is now confident.
Fernando.
He's back into the fight. And what makes him back into the fight is that Fernando is not using his jab. Okay, if he's not using his jab, if he wants to knock Limini out, then he must start concentrating on the body punches. Because I can tell you that Limini doesn't take body punches.
Looking at some of the body language coming through from Lionel Hunter in the corner of Walter Limini, as we look at the Rose of Soweto. And the instructions look to be right hook to the body and right hook to the head. So it looks like body punches, but all from the right hand of Walter Limini. We'll see how it all pans out, because the boxers are in the center of the ring for the start of round number 3 of a scheduled 6-rounder in the middleweight division. Fernando Rodriguez against Walter Limini, up-and-coming middleweight against an experienced campaigner. Nice sharp left jab for a change by Fernando Rodriguez, and maybe that's the instructions that have come through from the corner of Didi Di Pecco. Walter Limini is an experienced campaigner, and you can see that he's using this experience at the moment. Whether he has the conditioning or not towards the end of 6 rounds, we wait to see with great interest.
The man that needs to close the gap now is Fernando, because I can see now Limini is turning to be a boxer now. Fernando needs to close the gap and start hammering that body.
Nice left uppercut from Fernando Rodriguez. Still on the front foot again, but looking a little bit more circumspect. So look as if he's trying to pick his punches now. We're still not seeing any jabs from the Rodriguez fighter. Not as many as we'd like to see, because he looks as if he wants to throw combinations, and he got caught with the left hook there from Walter Limini as he came forward.
Come on.
It's a little better round so far technically from Fernando Rodriguez. Maybe instead of coming forward and getting caught, he wants to fight from the outside and just stick and move, and I think that's working a little bit better for Rodriguez in round number 3 of a scheduled 6.
Open now, okay, open now. Right.
What makes Fernando now fight better is because now he's using his jab, I can see now he's using his jab.
Looking very focused indeed, gets caught with the right hand coming forward, but doesn't seem to shake Fernando Rodriguez. The last time that Walter Limini had a knockout victory was all the way back in 2013. He's not known as a knockout fighter, Walter Limini, certainly not in recent times anyway. Started his career with a couple of technical knockouts against the likes of Funyo Ndiveni and Wynand Mulder. Certainly a better round for Fernando Rodriguez, but Walter Limini showing his ring craft. Both fighters standing in front of each other. That's a nice combination to the face of Rodriguez from Limini. 15 seconds to go before we get to the end of round number 3 of a scheduled 6. And Limini still showing
10 seconds.
Plenty of good style.
Break.
Short left hands from Rodriguez as he's being held by Walter Limini, and a wild swing and a miss from Limini on the bell. But a better round for Fernando Rodriguez. Whether he clinched the round or not is debatable, but probably an even round, as was round number 1. And Walter Limini showing some excellent ring craft. Well, Willem Khare, happy birthday for last Tuesday, by the way, and hope you had a good time.
No, I had a good time. I definitely had a good time. I was getting younger.
This is the first fight, by the way, of the whole evening that's gone beyond 3 rounds, because all the other fights were stopped in the 3rd round in the first 2 fights, and the 2nd round in round number 3. Up next, though, is Frank Rodriguez up against Alex Kabongo from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Scheduled 8 rounds in the light heavyweight division. That's going to be a banger between Rodriguez and Kabongo. We're at the halfway mark of the middleweight bout, scheduled for 6 rounds between Fernando Rodriguez and Walter Limini. The two fighters engage each other in the center of the ring for the second half of this bout. We'll see if the instructions are continuing for Fernando Rodriguez, using the jab a little better in round number 3. Certainly wants to get his opponent on the back foot. Hasn't caught him with anything of any great stature yet, has Fernando Rodriguez. He's known as a bit of a puncher. We haven't seen that in any great evidence so far in the 3 rounds of evidence.
I can tell you that Fernando needs to hit an over right hand after the jab, because he catches Limini with a jab and he does nothing after that, you know. And Limini, I can tell you, is open for an over right hand.
Right. Okay. Box.
Not a good idea for Fernando Rodriguez to turn his back on his opponent, even if it is from the break. And now Rodriguez seems to go back to his football tactics of coming in and swinging with left and right hands. There's a little bit of blood on the top of the eye of Fernando Rodriguez. He's got a big cutter on his eyebrow on the left hand side, Fernando Rodriguez, and he's been sent into the corner for the doctor to have a look at things. It's a nasty looking cut right above the eye, and look how much blood is involved there. Titi Peko waiting for the doctor, but that's a nasty looking cut.
This is not right.
This is if we have the decision that it was a headbutt. Is the fighter going to be able to continue or not? The doctor ringside seems to have been given the okay for Fernando Rodriguez to continue. So that's going to be a target now for Walter Limini. See if he can open that eye even more. So that left jab is going to have one target, and that's the left eyebrow of Fernando Rodriguez. And of course it's open for that big right hand as well. That's a lovely straight left hand from Walter Limini. Of course the danger, because the cut is right above the eye, is that the blood drains into the eye, and Fernando Rodriguez then, his sight is a little bit affected by the blood. And that might urge Fernando Rodriguez to come forward a little quicker and maybe try and end the fight as he was trying to do in round number 1. And if he tries to do that, he might be caught more by Walter Limini. And as things are panning out at the moment, William, certainly the fight has turned in the way of Walter Limini.
Definitely. I can tell you what Fernando needs to do now. He needs to go closer to Limini and stick to Limini, just to protect that eye, because if he opens the space, obviously Limini will catch him with the right, you know, and open that cut.
Well, Rodriguez wants to turn this into a brawl, and the fans are loving it here ringside because he is a local lad. Rodriguez really going onto a big flurry here with 25 seconds remaining in round number 4 of scheduled 6. But Limini is keen for it, and as much as Rodriguez is throwing bombs, Limini is looking to fight back on his own. Not the sort of fight that I think Walter Limini fancies. He likes to fight from the outside. He's a technical fighter, and he's a boxer rather than a fighter, let's put it that way. Ended round number 4, and an exciting round, and the two boxers really keen for each other here. There's a bit of antics in the center of the ring from Fernando Rodriguez, but the corner of Rodriguez certainly got a lot to do to try and fix that cut. Four rounds down, 2 rounds remaining in the middleweight division. Let's have a look at the headbutt. Well, there's the clash of heads, and immediately the blood was streaming down the face of Fernando Rodriguez. The referee did stop the bout temporarily so that the ringside doctor could go and have a look at things. Some of the action then from the remainder of round number 4. Much better round again for Fernando Rodriguez, but he wants to turn this into a brawl. The next fight on the card then in the light heavyweight division is Frank Rodriguez up against Alex Kabongo. That's fight number 5 on a 6-fight bill here at the Kagiso Memorial Recreation Centre. The start of round number 5. William Khare, I think it's going to be all action.
Fernando needs to stick like a glue to Limini just to protect that eye. Because if he doesn't do that, Limini is going to open that card.
Pretty even as far as the scorecards are concerned at the moment. The corner seems to have done a reasonable job of closing the cut above the right eye of the left eye, I beg your pardon, of Fernando Rodriguez, but it's still going to be a target for Walter Limini. Fight opened up by a clash of the cut opened up by a clash of heads in round number 4. Limini keen to fight from the outside. Fernando Rodriguez trying to change all of that. He certainly wants to get into the middle here as the blood starts to stream down the face once again of Fernando Rodriguez. Maybe there's another cut that's been opened up. Lovely punch by Limini. Down goes Fernando Rodriguez. He's back on his feet here. It's Fernando Rodriguez. He's never lost a fight. He's never been down before.
Come to me.
That can take the stuffing out of you. That can really cause a lot of trouble. And the referee says, we're having no more of this. Fernando Rodriguez can't believe it. But Walter Limini, after 2 technical knockout losses, comes back with a knockout of his own. There was a cut opened up from Walter Limini on Fernando Rodriguez. And then a great punch to end the fight from the boxer who comes out of the Hunter gym. A very good victory indeed from Walter Limini. The first defeat as a professional for Fernando Rodriguez as the referee stops the fight in round number 5 of a scheduled 6. And all of the fights so far have ended by way of either knockout or technical knockout. Heavy blows from Walter Limini. The cut opened up over the left eye of Fernando Rodriguez, but he was never able to really come to terms with the fighting prowess of Walter Limini. No jabs really to organize himself as a fighter, and trying to turn the fight into a brawl. Fernando Rodriguez gets caught coming forward. He loses the fight by way of knockout.
You know, Kevin, that's why I said he must stick to Limini like a dude. He must never give a chance for Limini to catch him with those straight rights. You know, because I was well aware that Fernando, that the eye now it's bleeding too much, you know, and he couldn't see anything. Look.
Solid right hand, right over the top of the guard of Fernando Rodriguez. And I'll tell you what, he went down, he was in trouble straight away. Look at him, he's really not in good shape at all. He's carrying his left hand very low indeed. It's a really good punch from Limini.
He did not see that right hand. He did not see that right hand.
All of the fights so far have ended via the short route. This is the fight that's gone the longest so far. So we have a look at Lionel Hunter. And the third man in the ring, Simon Mocardi, will have the 2 boxers together. Back to the drawing board as far as Fernando Rodriguez is concerned, who perhaps won round number 4. But not only the cut over the eye, but perhaps the wrong tactics as well from Fernando Rodriguez. And Walter Limini ending the fight with a tremendous right hand just over the top of the guard, which is kept rather low by Fernando Rodriguez. And Walter Limini back to winning ways after 2 losses in 2018. Picks up his first victory of the year and his 15th in total. It's only his 7th win by way of knockout, but he seems to be very happy as far as that result is concerned, and why not? I'm sure the Hunter gym will be absolutely delighted with that result as well. So the 2 fighters being urged into the center of the ring again by Simon Mocardi, and Walter Limini is first there, one can understand that. Fernando Rodriguez will join him, and then Tsipa Moshego will give us the time of the stoppage.
Kagiso Memorial and Recreation Center. This bout was a middleweight contest, and it was scheduled for 6 rounds. And referee Simon Mocardi says he's seen enough, and he puts a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 1 minute, 29 seconds into round number 5. For your winner, via KO, fighting out of Hunter's Gym, all the way from Soweto, Walter, the Black Mamba Limini.
Walter Limini gets back to winning ways. His first win in 2018 by way of knockout over Fernando Rodriguez. And it will be Walter Limini who will be having a chat to Sipho Mashego. It was a really good fight indeed. Nice tactics and a solid right hand to end the fight.
Esther Natukunda, how are you enjoying the boxing?
I'm doing good.
To bite. So I just want to say thank you very much for the people who come in Kagiso Hall to support us. Even those who say I'm going to lose, I thank them. Thank you very much for everyone now to be here. Thank you.
And what is next for Walter?
You know, next fight, I'm still waiting. Anything is gonna come next to me. Next to Black Mamba, Sway. Mamba is gonna bite him. Now Mamba is the time now. I start where I begin now. I want to finish my boxing nicely. Thank you.
Well, hearing the thoughts there of Walter Limini winning by way of a knockout. And coming up next, Peter was having a chat to Esther at ringside.
Esther Natukunda, you are the actress. Who were you supporting in the last fight?
Oh, I was definitely supporting Fernando.
Fernando, are you disappointed that he lost?
He is part of Team Dida. He is Team Dida, and I am Team Dida. That is why I really supported him. But we lost this one. But yeah, the next one we got it.
Next one will get it because his brother is fighting in the next fight, and I'm sure he will avenge his brother's loss.
Yes, absolutely. We got this one. We got this one. It's Team Dida, and we know we came here to win all the titles. We got them. So just because we've lost this one, we are not losing hope at all.
Thank you, Esther Natukunda.
Thank you so much.
The next fight up then is fight number 5 of the evening at the Kagiso Memorial and Recreation Center in Kagiso. It is Frank Rodriguez up against Alex Kabongo. With 5 wins, with 4 knockouts from Frank Rodriguez. And, well, unbeaten for Alex Kabongo as well, with 2 wins and a draw out of 3 fights so far as a professional.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now go to the main supporting bout brought to you proudly by Team Dida Boxing Promotions in association with Vision View Productions. And this one in the light heavyweight division, and it's scheduled for 8 rounds. Let's welcome first to the ring the first of our 2 contestants, this boxer from Kinshasa, DRC Congo. Here is Alex Diadora Kabongo.
Alex Kabongo from the Democratic Republic of Congo, now resident in South Africa, has a fight record of 3 fights, 2 victories, 1 draw, 1 victory by way of a knockout. He's 26 years old and has a reach of 179. Started his fighting career at the Wynberg Military Sports Complex in Cape Town with a points victory over 4 rounds against Musfield Ikuka on debut. 2 fights already in 2018, 1 in February and 1 in March. A draw over Jackson Masamba at the Emerald Casino, and then a technical knockout victory in the 2nd round of a Schedule 4 at the Mystico Equestrian Centre in Cape Town over Fernando Silva. So unbeaten from Alex Kabongo, but he's got a tough opponent here in Frank Rodriguez.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome his opponent as he walks to the ring. This boxer fights out of Team Dida. Here is Frank the Tank Rodriguez.
He's another firm favourite in this part of the world, the light heavyweight. He started his boxing career as a cruiserweight when he won by way of technical knockout against Kagiso Kolongwane at the Apache Pub in Al Road. But since then he's fought all of his fights here at the Memorial Centre in Kagiso, and his previous fight he won against Kayeni Kolongwane over 6 rounds on a points decision. And he's going to try and get some sort of revenge for the victory by Walter Limini over his brother Fernando Rodriguez in a previous fight in the middleweight division. And you can see the encouragement there coming from a family member. He's very determined indeed, is Frank Rodriguez. And let's see what we're going to get from Team Dida Boxing Promotions, as it is Frank Rodriguez who enters the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our main supporting bout, and it's a light heavyweight contest, and it's scheduled for 8 rounds. Now let's introduce first your ringside judges for this contest, Tony Nyangiwe, Namhlatu Luba, and Simon Mokadi. And the third lady in the ring, award-winning referee, Pumeza Zinakile. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce the boxers. He will answer the bell from the blue corner. This boxer wears white trunks. His official weight coming into this contest, 79.35 kilograms. His record as a boxer, 3 contested fights with 2 wins, 1 of those coming via knockout and 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Kinshasa, DRC Congo, here is Alex Theodora Kabongo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we go across the ring to the red corner and we introduce his opponent. And this boxer wears blue and white trunks. He weighed in at 78.60 kilograms. Unbeaten in 5 professional fights with 4 knockouts. Fighting out of Team Dida Boxing Promotions. Here is Frank the Tank Rodriguez.
Looks a very determined Frank Rodriguez, but same could be said for Fernando Rodriguez in the previous fight. There's Pumeza Zinakile.
Okay, the dressing rooms, you obey my commands at all times. When I say break, please break, shake hands and go back to your corners.
So fight number 5 on a bill of 6 fights at the Kagiso Memorial and Recreation Center. It's Frank Rodriguez against Alex Kabongo. Both fighters in the early stages of their professional careers, and both unbeaten coming into this fight. The sound of the bell then, it's the southpaw of Frank Rodriguez against the orthodox style of Alex Kabongo, rejoined again by Peter Leopeng ringside, and a quick start here from the man from the DRC.
A quick start, he's undefeated, and the pressure really is going to be on Frank Rodriguez because he has to avenge the loss of his brother, who was knocked out in the last round, in the last fight. So we have to see now what's going to happen now to Frank. Is he going to take the
caught with a big left hand as Frank Rodriguez, as he was coming forward. He's a stocky man. One can expect that as a light heavyweight, and down. There was a punch and then a slip. I think the punch came first.
It was a punch. He was down.
6, 7.
He seems okay. Seems all right.
Yeah, it's not a good evening for the Rodriguez because they've both gone down in that same corner. But I'll tell you what, so far Kabongo looks like the real deal. Oh, another big right hand, and Rodriguez is in trouble here.
He is in trouble.
Frank Rodriguez is ready to go.
He is in
big
trouble.
punches, left, right, and center, and she calls it. Zinakile calls it in the opening round of the fight. Kabongo with a stunning victory over the previously unbeaten Frank Rodriguez, and a very, very bad evening for the Rodriguez family.
Stunning victory for the man from the DRC, and the bad luck really for the 2 Rodriguez brothers, losing on the same night, 1 fight after the other. What a terrible turn of events for the Rodriguez brothers.
Well, I can see the emotion coming ringside from potentially family members as the ladies just can't control themselves, but can't contain themselves, I beg your pardon. But Fernando Rodriguez losing by way of knockout against Walter Limini. But that was in the 5th round of a scheduled 6-rounder, and this one a scheduled 8-rounder. And Alex Kabongo came out. I tell you what, he was throwing bombs from the outset, and there was no answer, no defense from Frank Rodriguez. And he turned the fight upside down almost immediately. The man from the Democratic Republic of Congo, who grabs his 2nd victory by way of knockout. And a very, very good fight indeed.
goes over to his opponent to console him. And yes, Frank Rodriguez losing for the first time as a professional in his 6th professional fight. Stopped by the man from DRC, Alex Kabongo. The man who came here undefeated with 2 wins and 1 draw and only 1 knockout. Now his record improves to 3 wins, 1 draw and 2 knockouts.
Well, the beauty of the fight was that these punches were connecting, and here's some of the action then from round number 1. Look how purposeful he is. It's a beautiful right hand. Sells the dummy, drops the left shoulder, and slots in that right hand right over the top. That was the first punch that dropped him in his own corner. It's a beautiful punch to the right hand side. And Frank Rodriguez was able to get up and beat the 8 count. But then Kabongo came back with some more punches, and it was a bevy of punches. There's the right hook, and then it was just one-way traffic from then on. Left-right combinations raining in on Frank Rodriguez, and it was only a matter of time before Phumeza Zinakile ended the fight as a contest. And yeah, I thought that was a good call from the lady referee.
It was a good call.
So we have the boxers in the center of the ring. We have Phumeza Zinakile there as well, as Sipho Mashego will give us the time of the stoppage.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an exciting contest. This one was a light heavyweight contest, and it was scheduled for 8 rounds. And female referee Phumeza Zinakile puts a halt to the proceedings. The official time of the stoppage, 1 minute, 8 seconds into round number 1 for your winner via TKO from Kinshasa, fighting out of Punyame Gym, Alex Theodora Kabongo.
Alex Kabongo then, winner by way of technical knockout. You can see the devastation written all over the face of Frank Rodriguez, but a really good fight from Alex Kabongo. It only lasted 8 seconds more than 1 minute, but a tremendous, tremendous fight from Alex Kabongo, who'll be chatting to Sipho Mashego.
Alex, congratulations. Was this an easy fight for you?
No, it was not an easy fight. He's a fighter. He got five wins, four knockout. But when I come here, they told me he's a good fighter. I respect him. The knockout is something can happen in the ring. It's a good fight, yeah, I know.
And what is next for Theodora?
Theodora is... I like Theodora, is the name Italian. I like it, the name. Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Oh, what a tremendous fight that was. It didn't last very long, but I tell you what, every single second of that fight was action-packed and punches flowing all over the place, and most of them from the fight of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The shortest fight that we've had so far at the Kagiso Memorial and Recreation Center. Collaboration between Team Tita Boxing Promotions and Vision View Productions. And one more fight remaining. It's the main bout of the evening, and it should be an interesting one as well. It's an international bout in the lightweight division, and it's going to be between the very experienced and long fighting Malcolm Classen from South Africa and Johanni Banda from Malawi. Well, as the fighters get themselves prepared, and the dressing room, we'll be able to give you the tail of the tape between the two of them. I'll tell you what, Malcolm Classen, you must have seen Malcolm Classen in action many times. Willem Khare, who joins me once again in commentary for the final bout of the evening at the Kagiso Memorial and Recreation Center. And there is the tail of the tape. He's 37 years old now, Malcolm Classen, 1.64 in height. He's slightly shorter reach as well than Johanni, and more or less the same weight as well. Johanni is 12 years younger and 1 kilogram heavier than his very, very experienced opponent. There's the tail of the tape. 35 wins out of 45 fights, only 15 fights with 10 wins for Johanni, only 8 losses for Malcolm Classen, 17 knockouts for Malcolm Classen, nothing at all from Johanni Banda. So he's a fighter, he's a boxer, not a fighter. And Sipho Mashego has some activations in the center of the ring. Sipho, what do you have for us?
Ladies and gentlemen, we bring you boxing and exciting entertainment. And right now, we are going to bring you entertainment bar none. And this performer, a former radio presenter and sports presenter, Mogale City Radio. Here is Kia.
Good evening, Kagiso.
Amazing, amazing, how one person can change the world around. Around, yeah, it's truly amazing, amazing, how one person can change the world around. Round and round, yeah. Tell me if you want me to. I'll be there if you want me to. I need your love, I need your touch, your body next to me. Tell me if you want me to. I'll be there if you want me to. I need your love, I need your touch, your body next to me. So tell my friends that I am done with love. Until I met you, and then you changed my world, my world. I used to tell my friends that I am done with love, until I met you, and then you changed my world, my world. Tell me if you want me to. I'll be there if you want me to. I need your love, I need your touch, your body next to me. Tell me if you want me to. I'll be there if you want me to. I need your love, I need your touch, your body next to me. I need your love, I need your touch, I need your love, I need your touch, your body next to me. Tell me if you want me to. I'll be there if you want me to. I need your love, I need your touch, your body next to me. Tell me if you want me to. I'll be there if you want me to. I need your love, I need your touch, your body next to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Kia! Kia! And now let's welcome to the ring dignitaries. We've got royalty here this evening at Tida Promotions in association with Vision View Productions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome first to the ring the promoter this evening. Let's give a big round of applause for Miss Meme Dipeku. And now, ladies and gentlemen, next, our dignitaries, let's welcome to the ring, we all know her. She acts on Isibaya. Here is Randy Mbambo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, next, from Vision View, Tabang Kitabile. And this next dignitary is a huge performer in music. Ladies and gentlemen, he's here with us tonight. Here is from Trompis, Eugene Mtetwa. And ladies and gentlemen, now let's welcome the former world champion, Tingan, the Rose of Soweto, Tobela. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand over to Meme Dipeku to say a few words.
Family, disappointments visits us all, but discouragement is a choice. We are going forward. Team Dida family, you are our family. We appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Baki Bamkhali City. Thank you so much. We started this journey together and we're moving forward together. Our distributors, Vision View Productions, Ramute Medicals, Kakiso Pharmacy, Munama Pharmacy, QQS Design, Furniture and Decorations, Mudise Atonis, Mapodi Massage Therapy. Thank you so much. Boxing is the future. We support boxing. Boxing is classy. We love boxing. Thank you, family.
And now, Mr. Taba Kitsavile.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. To the supporters and the community of Kagiso, you've been fantastic. You've been awesome. And I'm at a loss for words. I just want to thank a few people. Number one, the Vision View staff, the crew. You guys have been incredible. I want to thank the directors, Mafadi and Eddie, for their foresight and vision. It's awesome to have directors like you. And I just want to say something about the visions, the vision of Vision View and the values of Vision View. Our values of Ubuntu and youth development is the one that has spurred us to do what we are doing today. So thank you so much. And last but not least, I just want to thank Butlen Zimande for the wonderful work that she has done tonight. Thank you very much.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, pros.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Can I get a shout out here? Everybody say Team Dida! Everybody say Team Dida! Hey, yo, my selector, come on, man, come on. Hit him with that one day. I'm sure y'all know this track. It's probably familiar to y'all. My selector. Yo, this is for Captain Charisma. If you know it, sing along, man. I got love for everybody out here. Come on. Yo, it goes one day. Come on. Hey, I said I make it quick. Focus on this one way. Long time coming, but the truck gonna pattern. Destiny is calling me. Name on the front page. Almost fell, but I made it past the hostage. Brand new chapter. Made it to the main stage. Even though I came there, I knew what I would make it. This is tested in my one day. Started off low. Day to day, I had to oversee the vocal. Sure, I'm mad, babe, but the flow's so coastal. Trying to be a mogul. Scared of not succeeding, failure got me in a chokehold. Redefine the game, I am new as chess. 64 blocks, calculate every step. See, I move with precision. Take position, penetration is the mission. I overcame adversity when under bottom hostile. Come on. Hip-hop, my religion, King James when I write. I start feeling my life, never take a pen. Every single sentence, my path to the light. Here's the bar right, hey, heavy emotions that I feel during dark nights. You are not alone, that's the message when I start riding my walk. Come on, I said I make it. Focus on this. Long time coming, but the clock gonna pass. Destiny is coming. Name on the front page. Almost fell, but I made it past the hostage. Brand new chapter. Made it to the main stage. Even though I came, yeah. Knew what I would make it. This is testing in my one day. As I love this game further, misery declines. I see the finish line, victory is on my mind. Scoping on my dream, tuck it inside, about to take my shot. I swear I'll never sleep again. It's something to keep in like, oh my God. Started rapping in 04, perfected my craft. Wrote lyrics galore, then I dropped twin cam, it was hot like so it's cardio arrest with close bread strokes. Cut up off the dress life, oversized clothes. I'm all about the bar, see my name carries weight. Hip-hop saved my life, my form of meditation. Niggas say they weak. I am giving medication. Give it off for Captain Charisma. With an honest degree, Mr. Chinkela. You know my 16 P's, boy, I'm I said I make it one day. Focus on this one. Long time coming, but the clock on the planet. Destiny is calling me. Name on the front page. Almost fell, but I made it past this hostage. Brand new chapter. Made it to the main stage. Even though I came, I knew what I would make it. This is tested in my one day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tato Bunukwani. Captain Charisma, you were supposed to fight here tonight. What happened?
I'm so sad, eh? I'm so sad. Well, I think, you know what, besides the unforeseen circumstances that happened for me not to fight, I can just say that my opponent just chickened out. I mean, you know when boxers come to the ring and give these beautiful fans that come out to support the sport of boxing and us, personally, I'm disgusted. People wanted to see me in action, doing what I know better, which is to box and box beautifully, you know. So today it wasn't to be, you know. Just look at all these great people. They paid to come and see us. No joke. So now, because I don't know what happened with my opponent or that's why I'm calling it an unforeseen circumstance. Well, but he just chickened out.
Tato, you are a champion. What can your fans expect next from Captain Charisma?
Well, this is plain simple, like great action all the time, irrespective of how I feel. I mean, boxing is not about your feelings, it's about performance. That's what I give all the time, good performance.
And what do you have to say to your fans out here? Because they were all looking forward to seeing you in action tonight.
My beloved fans, and you critics. I mean, I gotta have critics. I mean, you still pay the ticket, that's good. Yeah. I love you all, guys! And thank you all for coming out and supporting Team Dida! Yeah!
Good luck in the future, Captain Charisma. We look forward to seeing you next time, right here. Thank you very much for being with us and sharing this experience with us. Ladies and gentlemen, Tato, Captain Charisma, Punukwani.
He's a bit of a character, isn't he? That's why they call him Captain Charisma. And yeah, he's a good fighter. Certainly didn't mince his words when he came into the ring, and there's no doubt that we are going to see him in the ring at some stage. I had a chat to him earlier on, and he's looking forward to getting to the ring and fighting. He's disappointed, of course, at not being able to entertain his supporters here tonight in the ring, but yeah, there's no doubt that he is the man of the future, and there's no doubt as well that we'll see Tato Bonokwane back in action sooner rather than later.
Yo, what's up? My selector started. I'm gonna take you guys to church on this one. Since tomorrow is Sunday, yo, let me take you out to church a little bit. It goes. Come on. Come on. That's all I ask you. Hey. That's all I ask you. Hey. Let's go to church. Hey. Guess I'm sitting in the booth again. My confessions in the form of prayer. Trying to rediscover truth again. So many lies that I cannot bear. See, I've been walking on this lonely road. I lost myself along the way, Lord. It's kinda crazy how it all works. Moving on when I was lost. Pray. It's all I ask, Lord. Take them to church. Hey, bring me closer, bring me closer, bring me closer. Hey, take them to church. It's all I ask, Lord. Yeah. Yo. Even though I'm a man of God, was my decision to ignore the cross. I feel the void, I admit that. It's kinda hard trying to get back. I'm torn apart by my own demons. I look to God just to stay believing. A black sheep as I stray away. Hey, too many sins that I cannot say. Pray. Come on. Bring me closer, Lord, bring me closer. Yo. Sing along, sing along. Hey, bring me closer. Lord, bring me closer. It's all I have. Bring me closer, bring me closer, bring me closer. Sing. Yeah. See, I done walked the cold road. And it got me right here. I'm not perfect. Nobody perfect. But here I am. So, bring me closer. Bring me closer, Lord. Bring me closer, Lord. Bring me closer, Lord. It's all I am. I know I ain't perfect. Bring me closer. Pray.
Well, the next fight up is going to be a classic one. It's in an international lightweight fight over 10 rounds between Classen of South Africa and Banda of Malawi. The highly experienced Classen, multiple world champion as well. 45 fights, 35 wins, 17 by way of knockout. Banda seems to be a boxer, not a fighter. 10 wins out of the 15 fights he's had so far. No knockouts and 5 losses for the man from Malawi. It's been a very interesting fight evening so far, William Karen. All of the fights that we've had so far have come via the short route, starting with Karabo Makupi against Johannes Lesiba. And nice to see Karabo Makupi winning his first fight as a professional, winning over Johannes Lesiba, who was on debut, because Karabo Makupi had lost his first fight as a pro, but won by way of a knockout in the 3rd round. But that wasn't the only knockout, William Khare, because we've had knockouts the whole way through the evening. It's been a bit of a disappointing evening for the local fans, and particularly for the Rodriguez family.
Definitely a sad day for the Rodriguez family. You know, both guys, they lost on stoppages, which was not good. I think maybe they'll learn something from those stoppages and they'll come back more stronger.
Well, that's one of the things that that people say sometimes, is that you learn more from a loss than what you do from successes over the period of time. And I suppose there are valuable lessons to be learnt all the while. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen in all the fights we've had here at the Memorial Centre for Fernando Rodriguez and his brother Frank Rodriguez, that those two fighters have been upset that badly, because they both came into the ring with unbeaten records and they've left with their tail between their legs. Yeah, I mean, particularly Frank Rodriguez. Because Frank Rodriguez, when he started fighting as a cruiserweight, used to come in arms swinging all over the place and really, you know, trying to upset the apple cart and smothering his opponent with an avalanche of punches. Well, today he was a little bit more circumspect, and it was his opponent that caught him early. Now, you were saying to me off air that if it was his corner, you would have said to him, once you've been caught like that, you got to hold on. Let's have a look at some of the results that have come through from the evening so far, and there's been some interesting results, maybe more interesting and dramatic for the fighters coming into Kagiso than those that were faced here. Karabo Makupi with a win by knockout over Johannes Lesiba in the light heavyweight division. In the junior middleweight, it was Lyndon Chinkela who won by a 3rd round knockout over Welcome Maloombo. And then Simon Cutler had a good battle over Wayne Loitering, winning by knockout in the 2nd round. Both of those fighters on debut tonight, by the way, also in the junior middleweight division. But the action didn't stop there, because shortly after that we had both Fernando Rodriguez and Frank Rodriguez losing their unbeaten records. The very highly experienced Walter Limini in his 25th fight, picking up his 15th fight by way of a knockout when he knocked out his opponent in the 5th round, 1 minute 29 into the 5th round over Fernando Rodriguez. And then a big surprise of the evening, Alex Kabongo came out and he absolutely smothered Frank Rodriguez. He caught him with a big right hand early on, and then he hit him with another right hand shortly after the resumption, after the 8 count, and there was nothing stopping Alex Kabongo after that. He just absolutely smothered Frank Rodriguez, and I think he was rather fortunate that the female referee jumped in and saved his bacon. Otherwise it would have certainly been a knockout.
I think this might be a good thing for Rodriguez. You know, as I've already said, he might come back more stronger, you know. He can just learn from this I think at this gym, they must tell Rodriguez this, you know, it's not all about hitting. Again, you need to survive inside the ring. What I say with Rodriguez, they only know how to hit, but how to survive inside the ring, they don't. And you need to know how to survive inside the ring. You cannot always win. You know, sometimes things cannot go your way inside the ring. Now, when things are not going your way, you need to know how to survive. So you can go back to the corner and give you some instructions. Maybe you can come back more stronger in the next round.
Well, I suppose that comes from experience, and Walter Limini certainly carrying some experience into the fight. Let's have a look at some of the action then from one of the earlier fights, and I think this was the fight between Simon Cutler. In fact, no, it's not. It's Simon Cutler. No, this is Fernando Rodriguez against Walter Limini. It ended in a fifth round knockout in favor of the fighter that is coached in the Hunter gym by Lionel Hunter, a former fighter himself. Fighting from range initially, and it really was frustrating for Fernando Rodriguez, who wanted to get onto the inside and swing punches. And eventually, in the fight, there was a clash of heads. And then it wasn't long after that Walter Limini was able to send in a tremendous right hand over the top of the defense of Fernando Rodriguez and knocked out Fernando almost in his own corner. This is the fifth and, as it turned out, the final round. Already there was a big cut over the left eye of Fernando Rodriguez, and the blood was pouring down there, and all of a sudden he just dropped his guard for a moment. Beautiful right hand from Walter Limini, and that was the end of the fight.
You can see that he opened the gap. He was supposed to always close that gap, you know, because he couldn't see that right hand because he was opening the gap, you know, and it made things easier for Walter Limini to land that straight right.
Picking up his first victory in 2018 after successive technical knockout losses for Walter Limini, and there will be a lot of happiness in the Hunter camp because of that victory. But he wasn't the only Rodriguez that suffered ignominy or perhaps disappointment. Have a look at this for a right hand from Alex Kabongo. Just setting it up rather nicely, boom, on the button, and down goes Rodriguez in his own corner. Takes the 8 count from the referee in the ring, and then when the reaction started again, another big right hand, and then, well, no, that was the first knockdown punch, but when the action resumed, it was just, he just smothered his opponent completely, Alex Kabongo. It was not really any way back for Frank Rodriguez.
You know, Kevin, if you are taught boxing correctly, you will be taught that the most dangerous round is the first round, because anything can happen, you know. You are still easy, you are still checking your opponent, but anything can happen, and this is what happened here.
Well, I'll tell you what, the referee perfectly positioned, a perfect result for her, because there was nothing coming back from Frank Rodriguez. He might not have been completely helpless, but there were no punches coming back. And Alex Kabongo was all over Frank Rodriguez, and she really didn't have much option than to stop the damage that was being occurred by Frank Rodriguez. And his first defeat as a professional, as Alex Kabongo goes on his unbeaten way as a professional fighter, the man from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
I can say right call by the referee.
It was a tremendous call by the referee, and well done to her as well. Always fabulous to be joined by William Khare in commentary. We had Peter Leopeng in commentary a little bit earlier on for a couple of the fights. But coming up next, we're going to have a tremendous fight as well. The highly experienced fighter Malcolm Classen, who's been in the boxing game for 19 years now, will be fighting against the man from Malawi, Johanna Banda. That's in the international lightweight category, over 10 rounds, 61.24 kilograms.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our main event, brought to you proudly by Team Dida, Boxing Promotions in association with Vision View Productions. Ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you to download the sports app and Vision Video, and watch the fights live on our Facebook page. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is an international lightweight contest, and it's scheduled for 8 rounds, and this one is gonna be a cracker. Now let's welcome to the ring the two contestants for this international contest. Starting first with the boxer from Lilongwe, Malawi. Here is Yohane Live Wire Banda.
They call him Live Wire. Yohane Banda from Malawi, resident in Lilongwe. 15 fights, 10 victories, 5 losses. Coming off a loss in his last 3 fights by way of technical knockout against Nasibu Ramadan, against Kolisani Ndongeni at the Orient Theatre in East London, and then at the Portuguese Hall in Johannesburg against Jonas Sego just 3 months ago on the 25th of May this year. Started his career in Malawi in 2016 with a victory on points over Mudi Kaminga, and before fighting for the vacant East and Central African Professional Boxing Federation featherweight title in Dar es Salaam against Nasibu Ramadan. He'd only lost 2 fights, but since then there were a couple of fights that he'd lost.
Team Dida Promotions and Vision View Productions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome his opponent for this main event. Put your hands together, Kagiso, for Malcolm Stone Classen.
William Khare, does he really need much introduction, because he's an absolute legend, is Malcolm Classen. Started boxing on the 22nd of May 1999 against Stevens Moeketsane in Witbank with a points victory, and since then has racked up all of 35 victories out of 45 starts with 8 losses and 2 draws. More than 300 rounds of boxing with 17 knockouts. And it's a privilege and pleasure to be able to watch Malcolm Classen in action first time, because the last time he fought was in February in 2018 when he fought for the International Boxing Organization World Super Featherweight Championship of the World in Ekaterinburg, I beg your pardon, Russia. Lost by technical knockout in the 8th round of a scheduled 12 against Shavkadzon Rakimov, and before that he'd had a unanimous points loss against Mikhail Aliyev at the Tractor Sports Palace in Russia, and just before that he'd won the International Boxing Organization World Super Featherweight title against Jack Assis at the Emerald Casino in Vanderbilt Park. But I tell you what, whenever a career goes back 19 years and he's still fighting for world titles, well, you've got to be in especially good shape, and you've got to be a pretty good fighter.
I can tell you Malcolm is one of the best fighters in South Africa. You know, the man is well experienced, he's a legend, and I can say this, I don't see this fight passing round 3. I can tell you that, Kevin.
Well, there's a prediction for you.
Fight passing round 3.
He's 37 years old, is the man they call Stone, Malcolm Classen. He's taken a little bit of time to come into the ring, but he's getting certainly a lot of attention here. Unfortunate that we weren't able to have the RBF Africa Junior Featherweight Championship between Innocent Matengu and Tato Bono Kawani. We also didn't have the lightweight contest over 10 rounds between Prince Dlomo and Thompson Mokwana, who'd met each other in 2017. But we do have this international lightweight contest over 10 rounds between Malcolm Classen and Yohane Banda. And as you said, Malcolm Classen is a quality fighter. You look at the fighters that he's come up against. He won the vacant South African featherweight title in 2005. That's 13 years ago when he won his first title, the vacant South African featherweight title against Edward Mpofu at Carnival City in Brakpan with a split decision over 12 rounds. And then a year later, he won the IBF World Super Featherweight title at Empress Palace over Gary Sinclair on another split decision over 12 rounds. So his career goes back a long, long way. He's a classic fighter. He's a strong component. And he comes from Tukumswis, where I'm told used to be a boxing mecca. Not so much now, maybe, but in the days when Malcolm Classen was making his name, certainly was a boxing mecca there. And Malcolm Classen enters the ring in Kagiso.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, may we all please rise and stand up for the singing of the two countries' respective national anthems, starting first with the national anthem of Malawi. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem of the Republic of South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Dida, Boxing Promotions in association with Vision View Productions, presents their main event. Ladies and gentlemen, Kuyafiwa. This bout is an international lightweight contest and is scheduled for 10 rounds and sanctioned by Boxing South Africa fight supervisor, Mr. Achinyingwa. Our ringside physicians for this bout, Dr. Silepe, Dr. Skosana, our timekeeper, Coleman Molefe. And now introducing your ringside judges for this contest, Simon Mukari, Pumeza Sinakile, and Namta Tuluba. And the third man in the ring, when the bell rings, referee Ben Ngapai. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds of action. Introducing their principals for this bout. Starting first, fighting out of the blue corner. This boxer wears red and black trunks. He weighed in at 62.00 kilograms. His record as a boxer, 15 contested fights with 10 wins, 5 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of Lilongwe, Malawi, here is Yohani Livewire Banda. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we go to the red corner and we introduce this boxer who wears black and silver trunks. He weighed in at 61.05 kilograms. Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of Team Dida, the former 2 times IBF Junior Lightweight Champion, the former 2 times IBO Junior Lightweight Champion. Here is Malcolm Classen.
Seems to be a very popular man around these parts, does Malcolm Classen, and every reason if you have a look at his track record, because it's very, very impressive indeed. 45 professional fights, more than 300 rounds of boxing. Final instructions from the third man in the ring, Mr. Benin Tapai, who has the responsibilities of taking us through this 10-round bout in the international lightweight division. 61.235 kilograms. There's the tail of the tape between the two fighters. Malcolm Classen against Johanni Banda. It's Classen in the black trunks. It is Banda who's in the red trunks, both fighting out of the orthodox stance. And there might be a little bit of a cagey start in the opening 10 seconds. But William Khare, who joins me in commentary, I don't think that's going to last long.
I don't see this fight passing 3 rounds, round 3, you know. I can tell you this, Malcolm, the stone, he'll be throwing stones.
Nice little short right hand to the head of Johanni from Malcolm Classen. He's got a lot of support in here. We saw the support for Tato Bonakawani with Captain Charisma a little bit earlier on when he came into the ring, and I'm sorry that his fight didn't take place. But certainly we do have a highly experienced and well thought of Malcolm Classen, still fighting, as we said, 19 years into his career for world titles, as was the case for the International Boxing Organization World Superweight Featherweight Championship just in February this year in Russia. Ekaterinburg. One would expect a boxer of this quality to have a tremendous defense. Judging from his tremendous record, 35 wins out of 45 fights. Switches upstairs and downstairs. Does Malcolm Classen with a lot of ease, and he's a come-forward fighter, as Johanni Banda will find out.
You can see that Malcolm is still checking him out. He's still feeling his power, and he's throwing very good punches. A very good body punch from Malcolm Classen. I think he has to do more of that.
Certainly looked like a couple of good left hands that got through the guard there of Johanni Banda, who's been on the back foot. Looking for that right cross that missed the target from Malcolm Classen, but looking to find his target. A couple of short right hands onto the Malawian's face from close distance. Looking for the uppercut there is Banda. Certainly he's come to fight. He seems to have a good pedigree as well. He's got a nice set of combinations, does Johanni Banda, but it's difficult fighting with the back foot. Classen will have the majority of the support here at the Kagiso Memorial and Recreation Centre. Don't use your elbows is the call from Benin Tapai for Johanni Banda, as we 20 seconds away from the end of round number 1, and well, you could call it a feeling out round, but I tell you what, I think Malcolm Classen's already established the way the fight's going to go, in his opinion, unless there's a massive turnaround from Johanni Banda, who's been backing away for most of the fight. Quite often, as we hear or we see from fighters, when they hear that clapperboard for the final 10 seconds and suddenly they spring to life. That's exactly what we saw from Banda there. But I think a nice feeling out round, and a 10-9 in my unofficial scorecard for Malcolm Classen.
I think we are going to see a different second round. Now Malcolm Classen, I think, is going to hammer you.
Didier Peko and Norman Klapane in the corner of the multiple world champion. Certainly nowhere near the pedigree of Malcolm Classen is Johanni Banda, but accepting the fight at short notice and coming down to South Africa. He said he had the one title fight, and that was for the vacant East and Central African Professional Boxing Federation Featherweight Championship in July 2017, where he lost by way of technical knockout in the 9th of a scheduled 10-round fight against Nasipur Ramadan in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Start of round number 2. Malcolm Classen in the back trunks, Johanni Banda in the red, and immediately there's a chopping right hand from Malcolm Classen, and maybe you correct William Khare, because it looks as if he's going to be busier this round, Malcolm Classen.
I think now he's taking him to the cleaners. I think we are going to see a knockout.
Very vigilant indeed. Comes forward all the time, goes to the body, switches to upstairs, gets caught with an uppercut, does Classen.
You can see that Malcolm Classen can see that the right hand, it does land, and I can see that he's going to use that punch more, you know, along with that body punch.
Oh, big right hand, down goes Banda. Bennett Kapai sends Classen into the neutral corner. Banda's back on his feet, beating the 8 counts. Is he going to be okay to go? That was the first real punch of the fight, and Banda didn't like it at all. Now he goes for the uppercut to the body, upstairs. This one's not going to last long. Classen wanting to end this one early, as we've seen all of the fights so far this evening that have ended early. First round knockouts, second round knockouts, fifth round knockout. Down goes Banda for the second time. It doesn't look as if he's got the stomach or the heart for this encounter. The count's up to 6, it's up to 7, he's on his feet. Is Banda okay to continue? Bennett Kapai asks the question. Banda looks into his corner. There's still half of the second round remaining. Tries to throw bombs, Banda, but he's going to open himself up in the process. Classen looks to finish this one. Short little right hand from Classen. Body punches from Banda. Looks for that uppercut again, does the Malawian. Well, he's looking resoundingly fresh from a man who's been down twice already. He's not liking the body punches whatsoever. And he goes down for the 3rd time. And that is all. 3 knockdowns. Bennett Kapai says, I'm done. And we have the 6th fight out of 6 that's ended by way of the short route.
As I was saying, Malcolm Classen was checking him out in the first round. He saw that he's definitely open for a straight right, and he used it along with that body punches that he was catching him with. You know, as I've already said, that I don't see this fight passing the round 3, and it definitely did not pass round 3.
It didn't seem as if the Malawian corner was too happy that the fight was stopped. But when you go down 3 times in the space of just 2 minutes in the second round of a fight, and you don't look comfortable at all. I mean, after the first punch when Banda went down with the right hand from Classen, he didn't look happy. Then the body punches started to come in, and he looked very uncomfortable under those barrage of body punches, particularly the left hook to the body from Malcolm Classen. There is Captain Charisma, Tato Bonakwani, who would have loved to have been in the ring tonight, but unfortunately that didn't turn out to be the case. He was meant to fight in the IBF Africa Junior Featherweight Championship against Innocent Mantengu, and unfortunately there was a technicality as far as that fight was concerned. So Malcolm Classen goes 46 and 36 as far as his professional career is concerned. 18 wins by way of knockout, and his opponent will slip to 15, 10 and 6. And yeah, really a very short fight indeed for the fight fans that have come in here. And this is how it ended. Those left hooked body punches, no answer whatsoever from Johanni Banda.
I can say this was just a warm-up fight for Malcolm. I think the next fight they should get him I can say a more tougher opponent, you know. I can say that. Look at those body punches. Look at those body punches. You know, he was not going to survive those body punches.
I'll tell you what, he was going to unleash a big left uppercut there, Malcolm Classen, but his opponent was down and just about out at that stage. It really was a tremendous performance as Dingon Tapela looks on from the side of the ring, and yeah, thumbs up from him to a clinical performance from Malcolm Classen. And Johanni Banda is a defeated man in his corner. Yeah, as I say, he didn't look too happy with the fight being called by Bennett Kapai, but at that stage he looked fairly defenseless, and Malcolm Classen with a clinical performance. A slow first round, came out in the second round, threw bombs, body punches that were brilliantly on target, and a couple of punches to the head as well. Bennett replies with the 2 boxes. Sipa Masheko has the time of the stoppage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this main event was an international lightweight contest, and it was scheduled for 10 rounds. And referee Ben Apai puts a halt to the proceedings. The official time of the stoppage, 2 minutes, 6 seconds into round number 2. For your winner, via TKO, Malcolm the Stone Classen.
His range sorted out in the second round after a rather tame first round. A technical knockout, 2 minutes and 6 seconds into round number 2 for Malcolm Classen. 46 fights, 36 victories, 8 losses and 2 draws. And a really, really strong performance from Malcolm Classen. The body punches too much for his opponent from Malawi. And it ends off an evening of fights that all ended by way of the short route. And it's not often that we see a whole bout card ending by way of knockout. Sipa Masheko then in the center of the ring with the winner of the international lightweight fight, Malcolm the Stone Classen.
The Stone, what a great performance after such a long layoff from the sport.
Nah, I never had a layoff. I've been competing overseas, and unfortunately I lost my last fight. You know, I lost my last fight on a stoppage in 44 fights, and a lot of people, like, there's a lot of critics out there that, you know, that judge me for that fight. So I just had to come back home, you know, and settle the score and show people that, you know, what I'm still made of. I'm best of the best, and I'm amongst the best in the world.
You have a great following here at Kagiso. What do you have to say to them?
I mean, I'm from the West Rand. I mean, where I'm from is just a stone throw from Kagiso. So when I represent Tukumzris, I represent the whole West Rand. So the people in Kagiso, I'm a homeboy to the people of Kagiso. And there's a couple of fights that I need that's gonna come up, and I hope it come up very soon.
Congratulations, Malcolm Classen, our winner this evening.
Well, absolutely, what a fabulous night of boxing it's been. Starting off in fight 1 in the light heavyweight division with a first professional victory by Karabo Makubi over Johannes Lisiba by way of a knockout. And then it was Lyndon Chinkela who won over Welcome Maloombo by the short route as well. Simon Cutler and Wayne Loitering both on debut, with Simon Cutler ending that one by way of knockout in round number 2. And a great start to the evening. And that evening continued. It might not have been a great evening for the Rodriguez brothers, who both lost by way of knockout. Walter Limini beating Fernando Rodriguez as Limini gets his first victory in 2018. Alice Kabongo with a whirlwind first round knockout over Frank Rodriguez, who suffers his first defeat. And then Malcolm Classen with a technical knockout in round number 2, beating Johanni Banda and picking up his 36th victory in his 19-year career. Absolutely terrific fighting here at the Sweet Science for Ghetto Greatness, and an absolutely tremendous evening. Thanks very much to all the production team for their participation this evening. It's been great in Kagiso, and we'll see you next time.
Limpid Beats.